on AMC True Crime.
You know, you are going to be placed under arrest.
Me?
You're Allie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's going to be for predatory criminal sexual assault.
We have the newly released body camera video of the moment a substitute teacher is arrested for having sex with an 11-year-old boy. Allie Bardfield admitted to having sex with that boy and is now serving prison time. But she wasn't always honest in this investigation, and the body camera video proves that. I'll show you what she told detectives at her front door and how she blamed the victim in this case. Allie Bardfield entered a guilty plea for having sex with an 11-year-old student of hers. It is a shocking story, and what's even more shocking is how she tried to play it when detectives arrived at her front door. Before I get to that body camera video, here is Bardfield in court in Macon County, Illinois, where all of this took place about 3 hours south of Chicago. This is the hearing where Bardfield admitted to abusing her student who is just 11 years old. But Bardfield wasn't always truthful to law enforcement in this investigation. This is the body camera video of the day that she was arrested in April of last year. Now, part of the audio is redacted, which is why you'll hear it drop out at times.
Okay.
6:38.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, do it now.
Hi. Hey, how are you? Hey, is Allie home? Yeah? Okay. Sheriff's Office, and I'm assisting the Mountain Police Department. How many kids are home?
Three.
Three kids? Okay, just you guys and the kids? Okay.
And
Because-
someone else.
Yeah, it's my brother. My brother is your brother.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the thing. We have a search warrant for the house, okay? You know, you are going to be placed under arrest.
Me?
You're Allie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's going to be for predatory criminal sexual assault to grooming. Okay, so that's why we're here, to take a look, to make sure we gather what we need out of the house, okay?
For what?
Yeah, so I'll talk to you more about it here in a second, okay? As a matter of fact, if you guys want to go in and start doing that...
Can I put the dogs up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, please.
We're going to have to follow you in, though, just to make sure, okay? Do you have your phone with you?
One's a German Shepherd, so...
Okay. James, you want to stay here with me?
So you can see Bardfield acting confused and shocked as to why detectives are at her door accusing her of sexual abuse and grooming. This is going on around 4:30 in the afternoon on April 3rd, 2024. The day prior, detectives say an 11-year-old came to the police station with his parents saying Bardfield, his 6th grade teacher, assaulted him. Bardfield worked in the Decatur, Illinois school system. She was considered a long-term substitute teacher for the 6th grade class. She gave off the fun teacher vibes on social media. Here she is on TikTok with a young girl. Now, hours before her arrest, police say the 11-year-old boy did an interview with a specialist to talk about the abuse. Deputies also collected a sexual assault kit from the victim. Now, here's more of what the detective told Bardfield at her front door when she was arrested.
I'm going to explain some things to you, okay? First off, I have to read your rights, okay, so that I can talk to you, okay? You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do will be used against you in court. You have the right to an attorney, and if you can't afford one will be appointed to represent you free of any cost to you. Do you understand that? Okay. Have you ever been in trouble before?
Never.
Okay. I'm going to give you an opportunity to explain, but long story short is, okay, we've got a significant amount of evidence to include the conversation that you had with.
According to the court documents we have, at her front door, Bardfield denied having with the boy. The audio is redacted at that point, but you heard the detective say they had a considerable amount of evidence, including a conversation that Bardfield had. Now, he's likely talking about the conversation Bardfield had with the boy earlier that day, just hours before all of this happened, after his forensic interview. Police say that they and the boy's parents were listening in on a text, a voice call, and a FaceTime that Bardfield had with the young boy. They say during those conversations, Bardfield talked about birth control and pregnancy. She also told the boy to delete text messages, and then they moved on to a phone call. And during that call, Bardfield told the boy that she could not get pregnant. She is talking with an 11-year-old. She is in her 30s. Now, police say on March 29th, 2024, Bardfield had that 6th grade student, her victim, over to her house. It was for a play date. That child's mom noticed her son acting differently after the visit, though. According to police, the mom then checked her son's phone and social media, and when they talked more about what happened, the boy said that Bardfield had sex with him. Not only did Bardfield reportedly have that boy, she also sent him $700 on Cash App. She bought him headphones that go for more than $400. She also sent photos to him on Snapchat. Here's the moment Bardfield is led away after this story gets even more shocking.
I'm going to talk to her real quick, and she'll be able to talk to me. No, I'll talk to you here about that. So that lady up here.
Oh my God.
Listen, no, but listen. If you said that, it doesn't mean she's taking your kids. Okay?
Make a nice time. Show us secure out here.
We are going to give you know, how you raise your kids and what goes on.
Oh my God, I'm not here my life.
Sit in the back because I want to be out of the wind and air. Okay? And I'm going to have you have a seat in this second vehicle here.
Showing registered 56 and a half, 10,300. OP revoked.
Which seat?
This up, right up here.
Just of the OP has been served to him.
You good, buddy?
Yep.
So here's the thing, okay? You work at Hope.
Bardfield then gets into a police vehicle to talk to detectives. The audio is redacted, but according to court documents that we have, this is what she said. At first, she once again denied having sex with the boy, but then the detective said he had seen pictures that she sent the boy on Snapchat, and when asked why she would send photographs, a teacher in her 30s to a boy just 11 years old, she said, quote, he kept asking and asking and asking and wouldn't leave me alone. The document also states that the victim had sent the teacher explicit pictures. In the body camera video that the audio is redacted from, we can see the moments in this conversation inside the cruiser that police are laying out the evidence they have against her. And you can see her put her head in her hands as she realizes what her fate is likely going to be. It is notable that Bardfield tried multiple times to say that the boy made advances on her, that all of this was the 11-year-old's fault. At the end of this part of the conversation, Bardfield, according to court documents, was asked about how she was feeling. And she replies, quote, I have my criminal justice degree. I'm in my master's program. This isn't how I want my life to be, but I didn't want the victim to feel uncomfortable as I felt uncomfortable, but I was just trying to act like nothing happened and just be there for him. At the end of the conversation in the cruiser, police say that Bardfield threatened to take her own life. She was then handcuffed and taken to the county jail. And from that moment on, Bardfield was held without bond. Per WAND-TV, here's the moment the judge at her first court appearance told her what the punishment could be for the charges that she faced.
It's a Class X felony, punishable by 6 to 60 years in the Department of Corrections. That would be served at 85%, followed by a mandatory supervised release of 3 years up to natural life and up to a $25,000 fine. It is not a probation eligible offense. And if convicted, you would have to register as a offender for the rest of your natural life.
Then in August of this year, Bardfield pleaded guilty to having with that boy. The state is now asking for a max 40 years in prison in this plea deal, opposed to the 60 years that she could have faced if found guilty at trial. When Bardfield was arrested, she said, according to court documents, that no other people would be coming forward saying that she sexually abused them. It's important to remember when she was confronted with these allegations, it wasn't until detectives laid out their evidence that she admitted what she was saying originally was a lie. She'll be sentenced on September 25th. Joining us now to talk about this is prosecutor and former Deputy Attorney General of Ohio, Mark Weaver. Thank you as always for being with us on Law and Crime. If you were a prosecutor on this case and you watched that body cam video of Allie Bardfield, what would stand out to you?
Well, it's very good body cam footage. We can see exactly what happened. The sheriff's deputies were extremely professional in the way they executed the search warrant. She gave it up pretty quickly. She told the truth pretty quickly. Initially, she denied having sex with this child, but pretty soon when they let her know that they had recorded calls, they had text messages, there's a great case here. I wish all of the sex cases that I prosecute had as much evidence as this one. This is a pretty airtight case.
Because when you look at, she'll be sentenced later this month, and in the beginning, and we watch it now in hindsight, knowing the evidence that prosecutors and detectives had in this case, and there was a lot. And she initially is like, well, I've never been in trouble. Like my house, me, and then she, after that, seems to almost blame the victim a bit, saying that he was the one who wanted explicit messages, which is like, we're talking about an 11-year-old. It's so hard to wrap your mind around. How could those statements made back in 2024 impact how a judge goes forward with whether accepting this plea deal and giving her the maximum, which I believe the state is asking for 40 years?
Yeah, the top end is 40 years. It could have been 60 years, depending on whether some of these counts would have merged and how many different sexual encounters there were. A jury would have hated her when they found out that she essentially claimed that this child, this 11-year-old little boy, a 6th grader, was somehow the instigator. A judge won't like that either. I'm going to guess that her defense lawyer is going to coach her up ahead of the sentencing, have her come in there and reel back in any notion that this was the child's fault. But this is what we see with some of these sex predators. They don't see that what they're doing is wrong. They're just acting out their fantasies. They're being the person they want to be. And mind you, she's got a degree in criminal justice and is working on a master's degree. So the notion that she doesn't know somehow that this is illegal is preposterous.
It really is, and preposterous is a good word, because just reading through the court documents and the affidavit, and you see some of the statements she's making, and you're just like, what planet are you living on? Frankly, just hearing it, like, and even the line where she talked about having a criminal justice degree, and she's like, I just wanted to make him feel comfortable, or something on those lines, and you're like, what is, just as far as not from the legal standpoint, you're like, what are you talking about? When it comes to that hearing, and if she does give this emotional, statement in front of the court, how could that impact what the judge decides? Because often, I see those hearings and the judge, it looks like he looks over something for maybe a couple minutes and then makes his decision. Is there what impact could a statement from her, even if it's really good, have on what her sentence could be?
I've been in front of a lot of judges sentencing a lot of offenders over the years. And these judges typically come into the sentencing hearing with their mind made up. They have written out the words they have to say in order to make sure that the sentence sticks. And occasionally something a victim says or something the defendant says, you'll see the judge adjust it, reach over with a pen and maybe scratch something out or maybe fill in a blank. But most judges are ready with an idea of what they want to do before they even set foot, and then only in these marginal cases do they change it. Judges are also really good at seeing through sort of courtroom conversions, right? When you read what she said she admitted to, and when you watch the footage of the warrant call the police did, that's when you see the real person. The person in court has been, properly dressed and properly coached and is reading from a script. Good judges know that the way the defendant appears in court is often a put on.
So she'll end up, 20 years off of what she could have received as the max if she was found guilty if she took this to trial. just reading through the court documents of all the evidence, just even extending explicit pictures, which police have, to an 11-year-old boy, why make a deal when it seems like you would have had her dead to rights if you were a prosecutor?
In nearly every case where a prosecutor pleads a child case out, it's two basic reasons. One is certainty of conviction, which I think would have been present here anyway, but more importantly, not making an 11, he's probably 12-year-old boy soon, sit in a witness stand in front of a bunch of strangers and say what happened in the most embarrassing thing in his life. You're always trying to protect the child from re-victimization. And that's a key thing. This woman is not going to get 40 years, and I'm not suggesting what she did was good. I've prosecuted all sorts of people who molested children all the way down to as young as 2 years old. And given this circumstance, the judge will not send her for 40. She will get 10 or 15. I don't know the judge. But that would be more typical for a one victim child offender like this woman.
If this case gripped you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more true crime.